It is my honor to share this afternoon with you this splendid weather day, just as Fritz Coleman predicted it, but that's another story. It coincides with the calendar commemoration of Women's History Month. I hope you already knew that. It's the month that evolved from a week back in 1978. Sonoma County, California, in fact, the Education Task Force there chose it to coincide with International Women's History Day on March 8th, just 2 days ago. And it was picked up by Sarah Lawrence College, and the U.S. Congress got on the bandwagon, and Women's History Month was designated in 1987. So here we are. Women's history, as you know, isn't just for women. Studying women's history helps us to appreciate women's place is everywhere. So students, scholars, and all of our men friends and ladies celebrate together today. Here now, I'm proud to help present the program for your 5th annual Women of the World Awards.
The Pasadena Foothill chapter has been in the Pasadena community for over 60 years. Our commitment to the ideas of the United Nations are decreasing poverty and ensuring that we empower women and promoting the environmental sustainability throughout the country to ensure that we all remain strong. We fulfill this commitment by sponsoring UNA events throughout the year, and we also are committed to supporting others through our nonprofit work. The Millennial Developmental Goals are ending poverty and hunger, universal education, gender equality, child health, maternal health. We're helping to combat HIV and AIDS, environmental sustainability, and creating global partnerships.
I'd like to tell you about the programs that we have at 50/50 Leadership. We have leadership circles that are to train leaders. We have Z-Flower Power, which is to help girls in foster care have the opportunity to be leaders. We have Women in Politics to encourage and train more women to jump into the political arena. And we have the Equality Standard to share news for, about, and by women. And other occasional events that we participate in, such as last month on Valentine's Day, along with the UNA, we participated in 1 Billion Rising, which was an event that took place all around the world. And the purpose was to bring attention to the fact that 1 in 3 women and girls will be raped or beaten in their lifetime. And that amounts to over 1 billion people. So 1 in 3. So it's pretty bad. And, you know, think just recently, Malala, the young girl in Afghanistan who just wanted to be educated, and she got shot. Or the young college student in New Delhi who was the hope of her whole family. She was at medical school, and she got brutally raped and beaten and murdered. You know, this is the kind of thing that's still going on, only too often. Leadership circles. As past Women of the World honoree Dove Presnell, I don't think she said it today, but she has said it previously, that women are not a special interest group. We're half the world. Yet we're a long way from being half the leadership. And until we have gender equity, we at 50/50 Leadership are going to be finding ways to make an impact. But why? Well, because in whatever field of endeavor that we're in, it seems like we should be able to reach our potential just as the guys do. You know, more than once, I've heard men say that they think women want to take over the world. Well, not so. I mean, maybe there are a few women who do, but in the main, we don't want to. We just want to be side by side with the men, with you men that are here and the other men. We want the opportunities to shine where each of us is able. For women whose ambitions are in the corporate world, it makes sense to let us in because companies that have women in the executive suite and the boardroom are more profitable. Microloans, which you might have heard of in the developing countries, have been a real boon, and they've been around long enough that we've been able to look at certain statistics of what works and what doesn't. And it's been found that for every dollar that is loaned to a man, 30 cents of it comes back to the family. A dollar loaned to a woman, 80 cents comes back to the family. So again, women. Yes, let's hear it. So leadership circles are training grounds for leaders. They're intense programs designed not only to train on the skills of leadership, but to bring out the innate leadership that exists in us all. Z-Flower Power is a new program for girls in foster care that actually was started as a direct result of four women in the leadership circle, some of whom are here today. Donna and Milena were part of that. And 50/50 Leadership took on this program because we believe that everyone should have the opportunity to be a leader. And children in foster care too often slip through the cracks. In fact, let me give you some chilling statistics about the foster care system. First of all, there's over 56,000 children in the foster care system in California alone. And being in foster care means that you have really an uphill battle the rest of your life. When they emancipate out, for instance, 65% of them have nowhere to live. Less than 3% of them go to college. They're more than 4 times as likely to need public assistance as the rest of the general population. And what's really, I think, the worst is that 70% of the prison population were once foster care children. So that's why we're creating programs for them. We're helping them to know they're worthy and cared for, and that they too can be leaders. We will, in fact, be doing a 6-week program with them in May, and there's a flyer in your bag about that. From hundreds of sources, I read and gather news for our Equality Standard newsletter and to pass on to our Twitter followers. And I'm always awed by the women and girls here and around the world who are leading the way to a world that gives everyone a fair chance. We're an all-volunteer organization, no paid staff. We work out of our homes, so no rent to pay. We exist on your generosity. Almost all of your donations go directly to the women and girls we serve. So how can you participate? You can volunteer. Whatever your skills and whatever time you have available, be it 1 hour, 1 day, a month, a week, we welcome you. We need you. Donate. Become a member. You can send us a check. Sign up for a monthly payment. There's all kinds of ways. And do keep up on the news. You can subscribe to the Equality Standard. It'll come directly to your inbox, and it's free.
Sickle cell disease is a hereditary red blood cell disease, and on both my mother's side and father's side, I'm the only one with the disease. Many complications. I actually do fairly well. However, one of the main complications is pain, and yes, I've been in and out of the hospital all of my life, unfortunately. And in high school, the next defining moment was that I had to decide whether or not I was going to be happy. I say that because for a period of time, I didn't want to live. The pain was too great. Talk to anybody with sickle cell disease and you'll understand that it's just tremendously painful. So I'm here to say that at that point in my life, what I did was I had a talk with the Lord. And I said, look, the next time I have a pain episode, take me out. I'm done. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. However, if you want me to live, then you're going to have to show me how to be happy. because from this point on, I need to be able to accept it, to be able to be happy, and to be able to move my life forward. I no longer wanted to live and not wanted to feel like I wanted to live, if you can understand that. Well, I'm here, and I'm happy. Happiness is a choice. It wasn't until 2005 that was the next defining moment of my life. And it literally began because my birthday, by the way, is June 29th, no year. And I have a girlfriend great girlfriend who asks you what you want for your birthday, but she asked me 3 months in advance. She asked me in March what I wanted for my birthday. Finally, I said, well, you know what, as a woman, you should always be prepared for certain things, right? So I said, I don't have pearls. So I went to her and said, how about some pearls? And she said, well, that's a husband gift. What can I get you? What can I give you as a friend? I said, okay, let me keep thinking. And literally, what came to me at that time was that, as you remembered, I wanted to follow in Mother Teresa's footsteps. And Matunga said, you know, we have all these orphans. HIV is just rampant there. So I said, well, okay, perhaps I can contact Matunga. I did via email. Took a little time. Still does. Sometimes it can take up to 2 weeks to get a response. And I mentioned that I like to go there and just do an assessment. And we know what an assessment means, that you observe and record and then report back. And that literally was the intention, was to do an assessment and report back. Was there for the month, great time meeting the people and just becoming part of the culture and obviously meeting the children. And it was on my last day that I didn't formulate these words, but they came out to me, and I said to the children that I dedicated the rest of my life to you, not knowing what that meant. 23 hours flying back home, I had time to think about what I said, and at that moment I began the name of the foundation, came up with the website that I designed, came up with the strategic plan, which basically was in 4 phases to provide housing, which we completed in August 2009, to do the water, which you saw. That actually was very, very hard, and I am thankful to Living Water International. That was completed in November 2010. We did solar panels, and that was in August of 2011. And then last year, we had a fantastic team, and together we built a greenhouse and a chicken coop, and the children now have 100 chickens. So very, very thankful. And how do we do this? Literally by people like you. We do not have any grants. We are totally supported by donations, totally. Right now, in terms of our strategic plan, our focus is to continue supporting the educational pursuits of the children. We have 42 children now. Ages range from 6 to 19. All the children need to be supported. We have 42. Only 2 of them are being supported. Our oldest, Christine, is in college. Seriously, that only is happening because her sponsor said, we will continue to support her. We only want the people to do it up until high school, but her particular supporter said, let's keep going. So she's our first person in high school. So I'm very, very thankful for that. We also have another initiative, and I have to admit something that I didn't even consider. We now have what's called a No Pad, No School initiative, which means that the girls need sanitary napkins. Well, last year, one of my volunteers who went to CSUN, Cal State University Northridge, she says, oh, I have a box of sanitary napkins. Now, I have to tell you my initial reaction when she said it. When she said it, I went like this. That's too private and personal. Now, why did I do that? I mean, I literally looked back as to why did I respond that way. But I took them, and when we went last July, packed them up along with all the other items that we took. When I handed the sanitary napkins along with the other hygiene items to the girls, they began to cry because that is not part of any financial budget to buy sanitary napkins. Food is primary. Paying the tuition is primary. And they cried because that is not something that they have. They have to do without. You cannot imagine, the women in here, you cannot imagine going without, can you? We now have a No Pad, No School initiative, I'm happy to say, and we are asking every woman basically to collect sanitary napkins. We'll take them with us. On our website as well, Huru International, they actually have sanitary kits for $25 a piece. So we're hoping that maybe we can just buy those reusable kits and give them to the girls. Didn't even think about it, I'm sorry to say. Now it's on my mind and it's what I push. And my goal is to get all the all-girls schools in California and around the US to participate. Hey, to me that's easy. If you're a girl, you can really understand. That's what we do. I am very, very, very thankful that someone thought well enough of what I do. For me, this is just part of what I decided to do at age 5, was to serve. And I'm very thankful to be in front of you to continue to do that. Thank you very much.
I got a call a few months ago from a childhood friend of mine who I haven't seen for more than 10 years, who was meant to be here. I'm sure she's with her children tonight. And she told me that she told my story to a mom at preschool who happens to be here. The mom at preschool was Sonia, who then told the story to Pauline, and 3 or 4 years later, here I am. So I believe that I've always been able to run my foundation, to grow my foundation because of telling my story. So I want to thank you all for passing the story along to allow me to be here today. I just need to thank my family and all my friends who are here, who always supported me in this crazy, crazy adventure of mine, traveling to the other side of the planet. My family has accompanied me many, many times. My 7-year-old daughter has been 4 times. She knows her Nepali sisters well. And last night I asked her, if someone asks you about what it's like to be in Bhaktapur, what would you tell them? And she says, it's just like home. There's cows in the street and not so much electricity, and it's really dirty, but it's just my other home. So I thought that was really beautiful.